Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to do an Ascension Energy update. I think it's about time I did one of these, and we'll just see where Spirit takes me, see what the messages are for this month of June. I'm going to go ahead and relax now and close my eyes, and we'll see what comes, okay? Well, I feel like I'm in a purse, but it's more like a cloth bag, but it's thicker than that. I'm inside of it, and I feel like I'm trying to push my way through it, but I just can't get through. It's also a wall or a barrier. You could imagine if you're a really tiny dog fitting into an oversized purse and you're too small to actually get your head out of the top, so you're trying to dig your way out of the side and you can't do that either. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm on the inside of a big purse and it's dark and I can't get out the top, but I'm going to dig my way through the side, but yet I'm getting literally nowhere. It's not very fun, but I'm not without hope. I'm not giving up here. I'm going to keep trying. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to make my way forward. I'm going to have to really believe in myself. That's part of this message here, that Spirit wants us to explore really believing in ourselves. Don't just sit down and relax and rethink the whole thing. Don't try to look for another way. Actually stick with what you've decided and really push forward with that choice. And they're showing me that myself, as I'm trying to get my way out, I'm starting to notice that there's sewing or stitching, and I'm getting a little bit of a finger through, and I'm starting to kind of stretch it out enough where I'm noticing I'm making progress here. And I'm managing to accomplish this feat of getting out. They say sometimes if you try hard enough, you will notice accomplishment. And this is for the strong of heart. Somebody whose heart is true in what it is they are wanting to accomplish here. So it's not as if there's different ways that we as human beings feel that we are in the right. And so this choice to dig my way out, I need this for myself. I don't care how it affects other people, or there's just really no self-realization going on. And so I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do, not worried about how it affects everybody else. This actually is coming from somebody who has been working really hard, diligently, over the course of what could be years, in order to accomplish getting beyond this wall that just seems to be it just won't open up. I just can't get through this. And this is about dedication. This is about not giving up. This is about believing in yourself and believing in what you believe in. Isn't that an interesting way to put it? We believe in something, but how much do we really believe in it? Well, I kind of believe in it. Well, you need to really believe in it, and you need to put your energy into it. It's almost like if you've been feeling a little kind of beaten down or beaten back, it's almost like you're going to get a second wind as well. More is going to come to help you keep moving forward. This is really, I'm telling you, the energy vibration here is very strong and solid. It's very true. It's coming from somebody who is genuine of heart, true of heart, somebody who's been trying to get through this thing, and it's just having a really hard time making progress, but yet progress is being made. It may take some time to start to notice that little piece of fabric is coming undone, but you are doing it. You are accomplishing it. And I do feel a second wind here that I can keep focusing on this. I can keep moving and pushing beyond what is a moment of wonder. Should I try a different direction? Should I do it in a different way? They're saying, no, keep doing what you're doing. You're getting there. You're getting close. I am supposed to really acknowledge pure intentions here. I am supposed to really highlight, underline, bold, pure intentions. It can't feel more pure of intentions as I feel with this goal, with this dream, with this determination to get out, to get beyond, to get through this. It's interesting because in the energy world, I could just snap my fingers and create a door any old day of the week. I could do that, no problem. But this isn't about what I can do in the energy world. This is about how we are conquering the human world and how challenging it can be. We can't always figure out how to just simply make a door in our life, right? Now just walk through that door and then my life is different on the other side. We have a process called life and people in our life and time and experiences to be had through the process. So it can take a while, right, to move our way through an experience. I'm going to ask him, why do you keep showing me this very powerful energy that is, it keeps saying to me, pure of heart, genuine, really sincere intentions, the truest of intentions, the most noble of intentions. Why is it you're highlighting this? They're wanting me to examine this bag some more. I can't access anything outside of pure, true, noble intentions. I'm not able to access any frequencies that are self-righteous, selfish, self-absorbed, any frequencies of emotions that are screaming, that are out of control, that are ripping, that are trying to rip others. There's literally no frequencies of that kind here. I'm in a space of pure intentions. And they're asking me, why is it that pure intentions, it seems that it is so difficult to move forward with the purest of intentions? Why does it take so long? Why does it take all of your might and all of your strength to get through, to battle through with the most noble of intentions? Why is it so hard that the most noble of intentions are still trying to get through this thing in a way where they can see the light at the end of the tunnel instead of still being stuck in a dark bag, getting one little doggy claw through a little piece of fabric and trying to scratch at it until it rips out so I can get out? Why is it the noblest of intentions seem to be hidden in a bag in the first place? Why is that? And they want to know if you relate to this concept. Do you feel, this is just to speculate, okay? Do you feel that the most noblest of intentions have not, or it's like the cat is not out of the bag yet? And the little tiny dog has not been set free from the giant purse. The most noblest of intentions are trying with all of its might, our might, the collective's might, to get it through, to get beyond this enclosure. Do you feel that exists here? Do you feel like you relate to that? That people with noble intentions have a very hard time, can struggle to put their dreams into action? That it can be hard. There's a long pause right now. And as this little tiny dog in the big bag, I'm starting to feel suffocated and I'm having a hard time getting enough of that fresh air that I need. And it's actually enough that I'm losing oxygen in my brain is what it's like, and I'm starting to pass out or fall asleep. I'm weakening. They're showing me that in another version of truth, that if we were to see the many energetic layers of our collective, as though our collective is an energy body of its own kind, and there in the energy atmosphere, the spiritual atmosphere of our collective, there is a very noticeable energy bubble, energetic space called noble intentions. And noble intentions has not become balanced between mental body, throat, heart, emotional gut, sexual body, root, crown, all that. It hasn't become balanced between all of the energy bodies and the way that they process identity. And this is the one identity of our collective. If our collective were to be one energy body and it were to be one person, to be a reflection of all of us, that noble intentions is sort of just a bulge out here. And it is having a hard time finding a way to become integrated with all of the chakras, with all of the energy bodies of the one spiritual atmosphere of the collective consciousness. But the fact that I am noticing this, the fact that it is obvious, is a good sign. Because it is wanting to be noticed. It is wanting to be seen. How many of us have those wounds that we are still looking at 10 years later and wondering, why am I still thinking about this? Why am I catching myself still pissed off about that one time all those years ago? Why? Because we have wounds that are still screaming somewhere in our energy field. And they say, I need a hug. And instead of us knowing how to really hug those wounds, we just kind of think about it and feel defensive about it and angry. And it was something that was 10, 20 years ago even. But this here is becoming a wound of its own kind, noticeable. It doesn't hurt though. It just feels like a very long time and an extreme amount of patience, and to the point that it feels suffocating and that it can't wait much longer. It can't last like this much longer before it completely perishes, or it is set free and becomes integrated into the collective. And then the collective goes through one mega energy upgrade, DNA activation, all that good stuff. My spirit guides want me to do energy work on the collective. So I'm literally just touching this orb. It's a big old bulge in the energy field. And I'm just touching it. And I'm to integrate this noble intentions to all of the energy bodies of the collective. And this is to help those with noble intentions to find that second wind that they need to keep moving forward. It's super essential right now that those with noble intentions be supported. There's a lot of emotion too that's releasing. I feel so sad right now. It's so, because noble intentions has been holding within itself so much burden and so much pain, and yet so much courage to keep moving forward without breaking, without falling apart, one foot in front of the other, without, it's just like so much strength, but it never cries, it never screams, it never says, why me? It just keeps moving forward one step at a time. It's the ultimate knight. It's the ultimate knight energy, but without the sword. It's strength and admiration of that strength and nobility. But beneath the surface of the strength is so much emotion and exhaustion, and how much longer? There's a lot of layers just sort of dissolving here around this glowing energy body. And it looks a lot like hay stuffed into scarecrow clothes. So We got the clothes and the hay, and now we have a scarecrow. But the clothes are coming off and the hay is coming out, and I'm seeing a glow from the inside. Noble Intentions is still sort of, it's in like a balloon, a grayish colored balloon, and it's just sort of gravitating up towards the heart area. And I'm touching the feet of the collective. One energy body. I'm touching the feet. A lot of sadness. Gosh, these feet ache. Man, these feet ache. It's the one foot in front of the other. It's the energy and the strength that it takes to do this with noble intentions in a world that is still giving pushback to the noble intentions. The feet ache. There's a lot of energy ache around the feet. Does that mean a physical pain in the feet? Perhaps. But it's interesting how we store energy that we wouldn't expect in different places. And there's a lot of suffering around, energetic suffering around the feet here. Boy, this could take some time. As I send energy and light into the feet of the collective, I see the skin is starting to gray and the veins are noticeably black. And it looks like a physical body on a table in like a hospital room. And the lips are black and the skin is gray, black hair. And it's going through a death. It's going through a very monstrous looking death. Looks like a monster here, a living monster. But the living monster is not actively alive. Is looks like it is starting to perish, and I even experience what is being in one of those places. I can't think of what they call it, but they do the autopsy. They put you in the freezer box, and they have the different bodies. I see this form is also laying in one of these like shelves. You can just push it in there into the frozen area. So I'm just pulling it out, and there's this gray and black body, but it's still alive, but it's not necessarily thriving with life at all. It's not yet dead either. Noble Intentions has to continue to be patient because it can't enter into the heart of the collective until the collective completely goes through this process. So it can't reach us and all of its inspirations, and to all of those who have been patiently moving through life with the noble intentions, and it's just not moving. There's just no movement to help you at all. The collective is still processing its own identity. So you just have to keep being patient. And it's a woman. This body is a reflection of a woman. I'm not going to call her a monster. I'm going to take her out of the freezer box, and I'm going to heal the black veins and the gray skin and bring her back to life. But gosh, is there ever monster energy in here? She feels like an ugly monster. Like a just disgusting, ugly freak. Like Frankenstein's monster, the woman does, of our collective. And is in a freezer box, half alive. The woman of our collective. And she doesn't have the warmth necessary to revitalize herself. And Noble Intentions remains like a blimp, just sort of hovering over her body, waiting for woman to heal. This isn't going to be easy. This is not easy. I'm going to ask my higher self for some suggestions, because there's nothing new happening here. And everything that I've tried so far, it just nulls out and nothing changes anything. There is no solution to help women or the woman of the divine feminine, however you want to look at it. There's nothing that will help. I mean, that's what this is like. I don't know what to do to help. Higher self, do you have suggestions? I'm out of suggestions on the human level. I don't have any other ideas. I've come up with so many ideas and just nothing works. This is also about working with higher vibrational realms, not just with your own human mind to get through your experiences, but being open to receiving higher wisdom. And I teach people how to receive higher wisdom is it's not to do whatever you think is the right thing to do and then question if it's the right thing to do. That's when you know you're working in your mind. I think I should do this, but then I'm not really sure, because if I do this, then that will happen and this will happen, and then I don't know, but I think I really should do that, but I really don't know. And then 2 years later, you still don't know. And it just doesn't feel like you should really do anything different, but you still think about it and you still wonder about it and you still need answers about it. That's working in the mind. That's not working with your higher self. That's going to continue to keep you going round and round in circles like a broken record. To get into your heart, you have to be observant about that behavior. And once you're observant about the behavior, you can say, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for how many years now? That's a sign. I got to stop. I got to stop that thing that I'm doing in my life and do something different. And it's going to feel absolutely horrible. It's going to feel like you went from breathing air to breathing water to make that change. That's when you know you're doing the right thing. When it hurts. But we got to change somehow, don't we? So my higher self says, there's your answer. You've got to do the one thing to help divine feminine, to help the woman or to help women. We have to do something that is going to hurt, because change is like learning how to breathe underwater. It takes time to adjust to it. It takes time to feel right about it. It makes us second guess ourselves, even if we know in our heart it's the right thing to do. And then it takes time to really see the benefit of that choice. It all feels very uncomfortable, but yet it is the one way to save this woman. So I think, okay, what is it that I don't think I should do here? And I'm not supposed to use the word think, give me a minute here. Let me just see what comes here. I cut her hair off and I turn her into a boy. And I change her reproductive, and she's no longer a woman, but she's now a man. And she looks like a man on this table with gray skin and black veins. And he feels absolutely horrible and gross inside. There's like an awful squirming giant worm within himself, and it just feels like a slimy worm inside of you, like a giant slimy worm inside of all of you, sliming around and moving around. It's so gross feeling. He feels this way, and yet he can't move, he can't speak, he can't change his circumstances. So he continues to feel slimy inside, and it's horrible for him. So I tell him it's okay. I'm going to relax you on down, because I'm going to go ahead and remove the sliminess from within you. This isn't easy. Some sort of man walks in here, but I just delete him. It's like he's trying to disrupt my progress, so I just ignore that, and then I just delete that. So I'm going to continue to focus on removing this worm. Okay, the next inspiration is, I haven't removed the worm yet, but I'm seeing this from the outside looking in, and I see a giant orb, and it reflects two. And it's like a cell that creates a baby, but it would be like twins kind of thing. But it seems to have been split into two, and there's the female side and the male side. But that's an orb, and then one's a female and one's a male, and they're like twins kind of thing. And then on the outside, there's some sort of electrical thing that is holding this orb in place, and all of this electrical energy that is just going around this orb and holding it all into place. The electricity is doing this. So much really dirty, rotten, foul, stinky, nasty energy, etc. Bad energy, gross energy, slimy energy. Okay. What can I do to clean this up, to fragrance it, to revitalize it? Boy, I did not know what I was getting myself into with this. It's not going to solve itself overnight. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do, I'm going to work on removing this electrical shocky thing. And we're going to remove that so the orb is just free to just be. So I'm just doing that, ignore that like it doesn't exist, because it doesn't exist. So that way this male-female doesn't have to be a part of that idea anymore. But the thing is they're in a polluted environment. So within their orb spaces, I can taste and smell what is like a toxic energy, and it's not good at all. It's really bad. And it hasn't decided how it will purify the air yet. So I can come up with the ideas all day, but the energy says it hasn't self-realized, it hasn't been discovered yet how to fix this issue, how to clean the air. I'm just going to use some sacred geometry. So we're going to go outside the box here. So sometimes when we want to find a solution to fix the direct problem, like let's say we want to fix the pollution in the air. We're going to come up with something that is related to air and pollution. We're not going to come up with something that it has to do with snow, or something that has to do with, babies in order to create a technology that will fix this. But yet we have to do something that is different than what we would think we would need to do. So the polluted air here, well, why can't I just, here's what I would define as a technology that cleans the air. That isn't what this needs in order to heal itself. So this is saying that it needs something that nobody ever thought of doing before. And this would be defined as sacred geometry. And this is a parallel between the energy realm and the human world. So we're looking for solutions to heal the planet, but there's something big to heal the whole world, and we're looking at the problem in order to fix the problem, instead of seeing a totally outside the box. Never even saw it that way. How could that even work? Don't even know what that, can't even fathom that idea. In order to totally change everything. And in this case, it defines itself as sacred geometry. So I just place a golden shape over this orb of male and female. And the golden shape wraps itself around what is so where we have an orb, but there's like a lining on, and to create two cells to a wall. And so it's sort of, it goes into the wall and it starts to feed these two like they are babies. And they're getting nutrients, and the nutrients come from the sacred geometry shape itself. And this information, which is golden light codes, etc., energy of the highest caliber, It absorbs into their being and it overrides, it counteracts the pollutants in the air. So they can survive with the pollution in the air because they have the photosynthesis, the light codes that they need in order to survive. And these light codes are enough for both male and female that they're starting to rehabilitate from the inside out, not the outside in, from the inside out. And as they rehabilitate from the inside out, I start to notice the light from within them is dissolving all this dark energy. The light from within them is doing this. So trying to fix the air is not the solution. What we need to do is heal what is within inside the human. And once the human is healed from within, everything else heals on the outside too. And they ask me who, Abby, is giving the humans the light codes, who is giving them the sacred geometry, who's giving them this, because they're not able to give it to themselves. In this image, neither the male or the female are able to actually help themselves. They're half dead. They're longing to be revitalized, but it's almost like they aren't to be reborn or brought back to life in the same way. They are to be different this time, totally different. So who gave them the light codes? Who gave them the sacred geometry? They're saying this because a lot of people are worried about the planet. They're worried about the human race. They're worried about their children, the oceans, the animals, everything. And we've got to fix what's out there. We got to fix it out there in order for it to be healed out there. But we have to start inside ourselves. And then when we start inside ourselves, everything else heals on its own. Because we become healed and we choose to live in a healed world. But they're saying that we don't have to do it all ourselves. There are helpers that are helping to get the light codes into us without us even knowing it. But we are absorbing information and it is helping us. And it is helping noble intention. It is helping this to become a part of our collective body. So in this version of time, as Abby knows it right now, so Abby a year from now may see this differently. But as of right now, my experience with this collective body is that it needs some serious time because it needs full rehabilitation. You don't just become paralyzed and then slowly, miraculously, now you're not paralyzed and you can walk no problem like nothing ever happened. Those are parts of the process of becoming a super awesome person, dynamic soul with all these amazing experiences of challenge and conquering challenge. So this collective body has been put through the ringer, the male and female sides, that these light codes are a rehabilitation process, and the rehabilitation of the human race is not going to happen overnight. So noble intention, just continue to be patient. And my experience of this is let's just say 2 years. I know that sounds ridiculous because 2 years isn't really that much time, is it? When we think about the whole world rehabilitating in 2 years, how could that possibly happen? But why not? Why not believe that it's going to happen in 2 years? If the whole world chooses to put all of our energy and belief into we are going to all heal, all men and all women are going to heal from within in 2 years to the point that we now can heal the whole world. The whole world will heal with us as we heal. And everything will become a totally new version of itself. totally reborn version of itself. At the same time, when I'm in the energy realm and I say 2 years, it feels like 200 years. It also feels really wobbly on time. It feels like a very long time. And my spirit guides also tell me that how long has the human race been dead? And we are still working as zombie people. They show me, okay, this is complicated, but what if I and you, what if everybody, we are just merely echoes of what was once a living, thriving race. And the echoes are what's maintaining the infrastructure of our energetic reality that we define as true, as real. And we're just the fragments of what was once a beautiful, vibrant space, a vibrant collective. And we're just the echoes of what became of it. So what then can we do to eradicate the echoes and then remerge with a different version of reality that is bringing it all back to life? But this time not the same, different, similar but different. This is an important concept. It's just an idea. But what if we are playing out the roles of people who have already died? And they died thousands and thousands of years ago, and we are just the echoes of that death. And we are still playing out the echoes of a broken record that began a long time ago. When are we going to stop? When are we going to self-realize? But they say it's okay because there's help, and it's helping to get this information into us from the inside out. And we are healing even if we aren't aware of it. And we don't know how it's actually happening. I'm still watching these two, and I do see the darker energy on the inside is just eradicating. So it's starting to look like a yellowish orange glow. And two people on the inside. They don't look human anymore. They look different. This is pretty tough now. What I'm seeing now is this is hard, I'll let you know. It's just very energetically exhausting to do this. But what I'm looking at now is these two in this like orangish yellow glowing orb. And then there's a sort of a wall in between the male and the female. They're becoming not babies, but very small versions of people. They don't necessarily look human. And but they're dreamers. And as they dream, their dream influences the individuals of their one body, of the collective body. So the male and the female are dreaming, and we are playing out the many parts of that dream. But as they heal from within, we become a part of that healing, and we too are healing from within. And then everything also is healing from within simultaneously. And everything that we thought we knew about the human race and planet Earth has nothing to do with what we are experiencing in this new version of reality. They show me that in one version, the Earth is actually like it got dried out and broken. And there's chunks that are missing, and the planet looks kind of red and brown and dried up desert-like. That's one version of the Earth. Another version of the Earth doesn't even look really like planet Earth. But it is alive. It is a living place. The continents and the oceans and stuff is just totally different representation of itself. And people don't have the same color skin. It's like our skin is a yellowish glow to it. This is another version of Earth. And the echoes of of what has been playing out, we can go wherever we want to go. We can go to any version of Earth we want to go to. And it's just, I mean, they're showing me what could potentially be millions and millions, bajillions, trillions, unfathomable versions of our one planet. So many different echoes of possibilities that are all actually playing out simultaneously right now. And it all comes from the dreamers, the male and the female dreamers. But this broken earth is actually a chapter in an old book. And it's not, it's almost like, okay, I don't know how I would describe this exactly. It's almost like some versions of Earth feel more densely apparent, or densely more the true story, and other versions of Earth feel like playing out all the other possibilities and ideas of what it could have been. While there's still this one epicenter of where it all begins, and how all the echoes then come from that epicenter to create all the other versions of Earth, which are merely echoes. And we're one of those echoes. We are just one of those echoes. We are just playing out one of the possibilities of what could have been Earth, and then is in our version of reality. And we aren't the epicenter version. We're just on the outskirts of the rings, of the rims, of this one drop into a pond. I say, what in the world are we supposed to do with this information? I mean, what in the world do you want me to do? Like, how am I mean, I'm okay with this type of information, but I think it's kind of high level. It might be, like, as in, it might be very complex or difficult for people to process the meaning or even have a clue what I'm talking about. And because in my mind, I say, so am I, as this echo, too long to be in the epicenter? Does it really matter if I'm in the epicenter or if I'm in the ring? Does it really matter? I mean, I'm just living what my version of reality is, and I'm cool with it. So what is it that I should long for here, or should I just be cool with it? And what does this have to do with the dog in the bag? I mean, and the noble intentions. This is where it gets even more complicated. Because in all of these many versions of rings, so the drops in the water, this pebble drops in the water and it creates an epicenter, and then the rings happen. So in all these versions that are playing out, there are movements of energy and inspirations and longings and terrors, and all of this is becoming rolled up into one ball of dough. And all the information is what cataclysmically sort of encourages yet another big bang within its own self, within the idea of its own self. And we are a part of this. Every single one of us is a part of this. They're still showing me that we are still what would be the echoing part of the epicenter. But yet we still experience it as a reality. But our thoughts and feelings matter. Everything that we experience matters. And it pulls it all back into the epicenter to create a new cataclysm of what will become the new epicenter, of what everything else will be after that. And this is what is happening. That's why all of this is just, we are integrating all this information into ourselves as well, simultaneously with everything else that's actually happening all at the same time. I'm just a human being trying to explain an infinite experience, just the best I can tell you. So, it does matter when we choose to heal the male and the female within ourselves. These intentions do find their way to the dreamers, which then instigate or fuel the next dream that we all participate in. And I mean, they're really showing me that we're on the cusp of whole new things here. We are on the cusp of whole new things, like 2 years. They keep saying like 2 years, we're on the cusp of a whole new reality. And yeah, rehabilitation of self, but it's already happened. The epicenter is already redeveloped and the rings are coming back out to us in our version. So it's already happened. And they show me that in the new dream, which in our idea, in our reality, doesn't appear as though it has happened yet, but it actually has happened. It just takes time for that energy to disperse out to the many echoing rings. But it's already happened. God, this is going to mess with people's mind. All right. Let me help you understand something else here. One thing you need to know about time is that time is always in the past, always in the present, and always in the future. So every version of a time and a place and a dimension that's ever existed, and we're talking about every single ant that has ever lived on this planet and every version of this planet that exists. And I mean, we're talking so much information that we couldn't possibly conceive of it. That is all happening right now. So us in the future, we're still a part of the reflective energy that is going to this one epicenter. So us even 1 billion years in the future are still doing that, while simultaneously we're being reborn in a new fabric of an echoed reality. And every day we're being reborn into yet a new one, and every second. It's just so crazy. So every second I'm a new version of myself. I'm totally reborn every millisecond, every bajillionth of a second, or whatever. Like, I'm insanely brand new. Every split idea of what a second is. I'm holding my hands up because I'm still generating love and energy. And there's a lot of happiness and smiling faces. And we have to continue to believe in the light within ourselves. And we have to continue to open up to the light that is being generated from so many places you couldn't even possibly imagine. And it's okay to feel that you need help to get through this. And it's okay to welcome the spirit realm, to your higher self, your spirit guides, to carry you through this experience. It's okay. The noble intentions is no longer like a blimp lingering, but it's like I'm getting really hot from this, and it's like I've gone into a version of the future where everything is a sunny, beautiful, natural experience. And it doesn't make sense that life in the human world was ever as chaotic as it actually used to be in one version of reality. And then, 1,000 years from now, we aren't going to have a clue how that could have possibly existed, how it could have been that terrible, how that treacherous, that much of a nightmare. And everything is so still and so peaceful and so lovely. And there is no nightmare that we are participating in. And it's freeing of the senses. And this is also my gift to you watching, is to help you receive those light codes, to help you to in this major process that is inevitable. Apparently it's inevitable. But we're transcending to a new level of earth. And it's absolutely like a bright, sunny new day. But it always was this way. Because every version of reality is always happening in every time. that is defined as past, present, and future. It all is happening all the time and every time. We're just leveling up to the next ring that takes place, the next ripple in the pond that is coming out to our version of reality. And it has already come to us. And we've already hit the wave, and we've already elevated to that level of experience. And somehow me talking about this and expressing this as best as I can is somehow activating everybody who's watching this video. A light within yourself is being activated. That is, I'm feeling really hot from this conversation. Like I'm about to start sweating from it. I'm feeling really heated up inside. There's nothing else I can say about this. Man, what am I supposed to think of this? I'm gonna have to take a time out. After I'm gone out of this video, I'm gonna have to take a time out for a bit. Really think about this. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who managed to get to the very end of this video, thank you so much for sticking with it and being open to these ideas, exploring these ideas with me. That's all I'm going to say about that. And if any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me on my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Hope you all have a great day.